of you have actually received invitations by the British Army or the Navy to attend assessments in the UK, and you're wondering what sort of visa you need to apply for, and also what sort of requirements you ought to meet. First of all, if you've been invited by the British Army or the Navy to attend an assessment in...
So those of you who are interested in joining the British Army, the recruitment application starts on the 19th of this month, 19th of August, 7 a.m. UK time and 6 a.m. Ghana time. There are people asking questions about the visa application, so this man is going to explain into details the visa type and the requirement. There is this guy who told me his visa was declined. So the fact that the British Army has sent you an invitation to come for your assessment does not guarantee that your visa application will be successful. The Home Office, they do their own thing separately. And then the Army also do their own thing separately. So when you apply for the visa, the Home Office will go through the visa using the same process they use, whether you have been invited by the Army or you have been invited by someone else. They have their own procedure they go through. So please listen. Listen carefully what you have to put and what you have to provide in the document, so your visa would be successful. Okay, let's listen.
First of all, if you've been invited by the British Army or the Navy to attend an assessment in the UK, you need to understand that the sort of visa you need to apply for this to take place, or for you to be able to travel to the UK for the assessment, is the normal visit visa. Right? So the normal visit visa allows you to be able to travel to the UK to undertake such an assessment. Therefore, you are bound to actually meet the requirements for the normal visit visa. First of all, you have to demonstrate to the entry clearance officer or the decision maker that when you go to the UK for this assessment and you are not successful, you return back to your home country. That's the most important thing when it comes to a visit visa. You have to demonstrate to the decision maker that you are a genuine visitor, such that after your visit, you would return to your home country. Here you are going to go for an assessment, and if you are successful, the British Army would recruit you. Therefore, there's a probability that you might not come back to your home country, but that's based on the fact that you ought to pass the assessment.
So he said, if you go for the assessment, there are two chances. You might be successful or not. If you are successful, then there is no need to go back to your country. But if you are not successful, would you go back to your country, which is a must? So the Home Office need to know that if you are not successful, you would go back. But what proves that point? Listen.
So the initial sort of where you start from, or the initial point you ought to start from, is your ability to demonstrate to the decision maker that when you go to the UK and you don't pass this assessment, there are several incentives back home which will pull you back. And that's where people usually get their refusals being looked at. So you have to be able to demonstrate with evidence that, look, I have a lot of things holding me back home. I have great incentives. For instance, you are employed, you have good or strong financial ties to your home country, you have stronger family ties, you have assets ties, and you even have wider community or social ties. You have to be able to demonstrate to the decision maker that there are incentives that will bring you back home if you do not pass your assessment. So first of all, you would have to understand that, look, you have to get to the UK on the normal visit visas or the normal visit visa, and the rules for the normal visit visa will apply. So beyond demonstrating that you will be able to afford the cost of your trip, that's affordability, that you have the financial strength or you have the financial backing of a sponsor, and therefore you can actually cater for the related cost of the trip, you have to be able to demonstrate that even when you get to the UK and after your assessment, if you are not successful, here are things, or here are a group of things that indicate that I'm going to actually come back to my home country to continue my life out there. So that's what you have to look at. First of all, know that when you've been invited by the British Army or the Navy, you need a visit visa to be able to travel to the UK to undertake your assessment. And also, you need to know that you need to meet the requirements of a normal visit visa. The requirements that a tourist has to meet is almost the same as you have to meet, despite the fact that you have an invitation from the British Army. Don't think that because the British Army or the Navy has invited you, automatically you're going to get the visa.
So, if the army has sent you an invitation, does not guarantee that your visa should be automatically approved. So, you need to do your homework. The normal visiting visa is not complex, yeah? It's not like a rocket science kind of thing that you need to be going for prayers and fasting, and it's a process. Provide your documents. Support them with evidence, because you are not there for the officer to be asking you, Charlie, where did you get this money from? What's your monthly salary? What other assets have you got? Your sponsor, is she able or is he able to sponsor you? How are you going to take care of yourself in the UK? Things like that. You are not in the office, and they are not going to pick up a phone and ask you. You need to provide the evidence with your documents, everything packed, so they can just look through, and you've given them no chance to refuse your application, rather than just putting the stamp on and then away bus. Okay, so if you are interested, take this seriously, because like I told you, a guy was refused. His visa application was refused, even though the army has sent him the invitation. So I wish you all the best of luck.
If you find these things very complex, which they are, better consult an immigration lawyer like myself, and they will be able to actually come to your aid with representation or explain what the requirements or the rules are to you. Thank you very much.